Alright. I got my AC on, so hopefully it isn't too loud and annoying. But UFC Shanghai Walker versus Zhang took place this morning for me. It started at 3 a.m. for the prelims, so I went to bed after it was all over. So that's why I'm making this at 5:52 p.m. But we're gonna go through the card, talk about it, give my take on some things, and yeah, we're starting off with Uran Satibaldia versus Dr. Nergoje. Now I gotta be honest here. Some of the people on this card I got mixed up. I picked Nergoze because I thought he was somebody else. Had I known he was the tick guy that's always doing this during his fights, I actually would not have picked him. I just didn't know that was who that was. I don't know who I thought he was, but if I knew he was the tick guy, I definitely wouldn't have picked him. So definitely a bad pick for me. But Saldi Baldiev got the submission in the first round, and he got a knockdown as well. Impressive win. Moving on. Zai Long versus Su Young Yu. I got this one right. I said that Su Young Yu would be too good on the back foot, and he would be the one with the grappling advantage, and he was. That was true, and he was a bit faster as well. And honestly, can I be honest? Some of these guys that come from the Asian fighters typically aren't the greatest. They just aren't. They're just not great at fighting, and some of these guys that go through the road to the UFC, all their fighting is like other Asian fighters. So, Su Young Yu at least has beaten American prospects and fighters from other regions. So that was another reason why I took him, because Zia Long doesn't really have any experience over good fighters, where Su Young Yu does. Zia Long really only has fought in guys. He's only really fought in other Asian fighters. So, that's just what it is, man. Sad, but Su Young Yu is an easy pick here, I think. Moving on. Yiza versus Weston Wilson. I said Yiza by round 1 KO. He got a round 1 KO, so I was right on this. Absolutely, he dropped him like two times, as it says down there. So, great performance, honestly. How long did it last? It lasted 37 seconds, man. That is embarrassing. Weston Wilson should fucking pack it up, man. He's like 35, 36, I think, and he should just pack it up, man. Honestly. Yeah. Well, it is what it is, right? This was the easy one. Moving on to Mikael Pereira versus Kyle Dawkins. This one fucking shocked me, man. Shocked me. I definitely did not expect this. I thought Mikael Pereira would do to Kyle Dawkins what Kyle Dawkins did to Mikael Pereira. So, Kyle Dawkins has sucked ass his entire career. How was I supposed to know that he was going to come in here and beat Mikael Pereira? He might still suck ass. Mikael Pereira maybe just isn't that good anymore, I will most likely pick against Kyle Dawkins in his next one. Just because, yeah, he landed a really nice... Mikael Pereira was touching up and was winning the 43 seconds that they fought. He landed some nice body kicks, some good hands, and I'm not saying that Kyle Dawkins got lucky here, because clearly he landed that shot and he was looking for that shot, but other than the KO shot, I didn't see anything from Kyle Dawkins that was impressive to me. So, maybe Mikael Pereira just doesn't have a chin anymore. Maybe he just doesn't do it for the love of the game anymore. Kyle Dawkins still needs to show me more outside of one knockout blow to make me believe in him. But don't get me wrong, I am still impressed, and I was shocked, and it was a good win for Kyle Dawkins. Moving forward, you still lost to what's that dude's name? I'm not gonna remember it, but You still lost to Eric Anders. You know, that's not going to go away. So, good win, though, for Kyle Dawkins. Happy to see him do that. Moving on. Rong Zhu versus Austin Hubbard. I said Rong Zhu would win. Rong Zhu won. Clearly. It was a good fight, though. It was okay to watch. You know, nothing too crazy, but nothing too boring. You know, they were throwing strikes. Rong Zhu was just the better fighter, as I predicted. But you've seen Rong Zhu's level here, though. You've seen why he lost to Ignacio Bahamondes. You've seen why he, you know, has some of the losses he does. Because Austin Hubbard isn't really that good, and I thought Rong Zhu was better than he is. I thought he'd be able to finish Austin Hubbard, even though looking back that was kind of dumb because Austin Hubbard has always been very hard to finish. But you know, I want to check real quick before I continue. Austin Hubbard has never been knocked out. Okay, so that, you know what, that makes sense though. That makes sense because he's just un-KOable and only lost by submission 3 times. Only. Yeah, but Rong Zhu was just better on this night. So Austin Hubbard will likely get cut soon, I think. Maybe they'll give him one more opportunity, but you know. Moving on to Charles Johnson versus Loner Kavanaugh. It sucks, man. It sucks that Loner Kavanaugh is too small for the flyweight division. I feel so bad for him. And Charles Johnson is just an absolute Godzilla in this division. He's fucking massive for the flyweight division. I don't like guys that do this, but if you can make the weight, I guess, you know, you can make the weight, right? But it's just annoying, you know, when you're fucking 5'8" at 125 pounds. It's just, you know, Loner Kavanaugh is like, what, 5'4". So sad that someone like Loner Kavanaugh is too small for the smallest division in the UFC. There's nothing else he can do. It's the smallest division, you know, where he gets absolutely outsized by 2 weight classes by these other guys that cut a shit ton of weight. Sucks for Loner Kavanaugh. He'll be back, you know. Charles Johnson just loves to be bigger than everybody and, you know, have that crazy advantage over everybody. So, it is what it is. Good win, I guess. Good knockout. Took Loner Kavanaugh's O by being much bigger. Was getting absolutely schooled in the first round, though, before Charles Johnson realized he was so much bigger. You know, tall ass bitch, you know. It is what it is, man, you know. I wish the best for Loner Kavanaugh. Hope he does well moving forward, but with people being this much bigger than him, you know, it's just hard to be too confident, right? Because clearly he's better than Charles Johnson, but, you know, you just cut more weight than everybody, you know, get in the lowest division even though you're 5'8", and, you know, just KO everybody because you're huge and your power is different in that division. That's all I really have to say, right? Moving on. Mahashate versus Gage Young. I'm going to be honest. During this fight, I was kind of going in and out of consciousness. I was so tired. It's crazy because I didn't stay up for this card, but I fell asleep. I fell asleep at like 9 p.m. on Friday. Woke up at, I missed the first fight. I woke up at like 3:40 a.m. So, I mean, that's still like 6 hours though. Like I don't know why I was so tired, but I kind of thought Mahashate, when my eyes were open, I was seeing Mahashate land the harder strikes, but I definitely could have been wrong. I didn't watch enough of it. So Gage Young got the win. I honestly didn't watch this one too much. They were slinging. They were kind of slinging back and forth though. I believe Gage Young had had the grappling, and he had 3 takedowns, and he had some control time as well. So maybe, yeah. And 112 significant strikes to 66. Yeah, it seems like Gage Young did win the fight. Happy for him, man. I follow him on Twitter. He posts a lot. He's cool on Twitter. So congratulations, Gage Young. Moving on. I'm not saying his name again. Versus Kiefer Crosby. Respect to Kiefer Crosby. If I can say anything, respect to fucking Kiefer Crosby, man. The most nasty and the most egregious illegal knee we've ever fucking seen in the sport by Taya Kaleka. And Kiefer Crosby gets right up, says, I'm good, no time, I'm good. Head busted open, fucking exploded. He says, I'm good, let me continue. Fight continues. Very soon after that, he just gets pummeled on the ground because he's out of it, he's not fully with it. So respect him for continuing and not pulling a Rodolfo Bellato trying to get a DQ. And maybe you guys don't know this, but I was on Aljamain Sterling's side during the Puriani situation. I didn't see him acting. I didn't think he was acting. It was a nasty knee, and he needed multiple surgeries. So, personally, I think it's dumb to think that Aljamain Sterling faked that. But you can have your own opinion. I'm not mad at it. It is what it is. But Kiefer Crosby didn't want to go the DQ route. Didn't want to do any of that. He said, fuck it, I'm ready to go. And, got KO'd. I agreed with the 2-point, though. The 2-point deduction. I think you need to take 2 points into something like that. Show that you cannot fucking win a round off of something like that. So, yeah. Respect to Kiefer Crosby and fuck you, Taya Lake. Moving on. Suma Darji versus Kevin Borjas. This fight really pissed me off. Because, man, I picked Kevin Borjas as my underdog of the week. I fucking shouldn't have. I just saw something in Kevin Borjas when he was losing competitive fights against Joshua Van and Alessandro Costa. And I've seen Suma Darji just get bitched around by guys with good boxing, Bitched around by Matt Schnell after hurting him. Bitched around by someone else. I don't know. It's just like Kevin Borjas has slick boxing, and I've seen him have competitive fights against guys that I think would literally do unholy things to Suma Darji. So I'm like, you know what? I think Kevin Borjas is gonna win, and Kevin Borjas goes out there and fucking throws 18 total strikes, even though he always throws more than that. It's just annoying, bro, when you pick somebody to win and then they go out there and fucking fight differently like they always have. It's just annoying, man. It's just annoying. Congratulations, though, Suma Darji, Kevin Borjas. You're not a fighter. You're clearly down 2 rounds, and in the 3rd round you make 0 attempts at an adjustment, 0 attempts to change the outcome. You just continue to let it happen. Fighters like that just piss me off, bro, because you really don't want to win. You don't care about your family. You don't care about your career. You don't care about nothing, So, I really don't have not much respect for that. It is what it is. Like, I've seen guys get beat up worse than what Kevin Borjas did. And then the last round, they come out thinking, I'm going to KO you or I'm getting KO'd because I'm not going to let you, just continue to do what you're doing. But Kevin Borjas doesn't have that mindset. He has a mindset of, well, I lost the first 2 rounds, so I might as well just lose this 3rd. And I just hate that mindset. I think it's stupid, and it is what it is, man. Moving on to Sergey Pavlovich versus Waldo Cortez Acosta. I scored this 30-27 Sergey Pavlovich, man. Really good performance from Sergey. I will say, he lost his finishing ability, man. He did. I know that Waldo Cortez Acosta is tough, and he's never been knocked out, I believe. But, man, it's just like he hurt Waldo so many times, and then he held back. I'm like, oh, lost your finishing potential. It's like the Tom Aspinall KO made him timid. After he got KO'd by Tom, it made him timid. And then the loss to Volkov, took his soul, Waldo Cortez Acosta just simply isn't good enough to beat Sergey. So that's why he didn't win. Sergey of old would have KO'd him, but Sergey has definitely regressed and lost his finishing ability and all that, and yeah, it's just, you know. Waldo, though. Waldo's got a fucking chin, though, because he was... I gotta pick something up. Waldo Cortez Acosta, man, he has got a chin for sure. Because he was eating some nasty shots, but although he does have a chin, it's like some of the reason he didn't get KO'd as well is because Sergey didn't chase it. He would hurt Pavlovich, he would hurt Acosta, and then he would hold back. And I'm like, why, bro? Go for that, you know? Go for that like you went after Tai Tuivasa, dude. He was relentless going after Tai Tuivasa, man. But, you know. Good win, though, for Sergey. At least he's back in the win column. That's all you can ask for, honestly. After 2 demoralizing losses he had in a row, to at least just be back in the win column, you know. It's crazy, right? And, dude, the UFC's been cutting winning heavyweights recently. They've been cutting winning heavyweights. So I guess he just felt like he couldn't afford a loss and maybe just didn't want to risk it and go for it. That could be it. So, good for Sergey. He's still a powerful puncher and an absolute danger for anyone in this division other than Tom Aspinall. Oh, man. Waldo Cortez Acosta, man. I can see him being a top 5 guy, low-key. You know? Who's in the top 5? Can he be anyone in the top 5 currently? Let me find out real quick. Because I'm not too impressed with Waldo Cortez Acosta, though, if I'm being honest, but a bit more impressive than a lot of the heavyweights. You know what? I bet you he beats Curtis Blades. Well, I bet you he beats Curtis Blades, though, to be honest with you. Anybody loses that Jael Tenameda, though, for sure. You know. Alright, moving on. To the co-main event of Brian Ortega versus Aljamain Sterling. Aljamain Sterling won every single round, 50-45. This was dominant. It wasn't the most entertaining, fun fight to watch, and it wasn't the most damaging. But I mean, Aljamain Sterling. I knew that Aljamain Sterling was just a better fighter than Brian Ortega. There was no doubt in my mind. And Aljamain Sterling went out there, and there's really not much to say about it. Aljamain Sterling went out there, was just a better fighter, beat him in every facet of the game. I mean, Aljamain Sterling won the striking in every round. He got 3 takedowns, and he got 3 takedowns on 6 attempts, 50%. Ortega failed 2 takedowns, didn't get a single one. I mean, Aljamain Sterling is just a better MMA fighter, you know. He's had underrated striking his entire career. Aljamain Sterling is just really fucking good. He's really fucking good. So, and this was a, you know. This was a don't forget I was a champion kind of performance, you know. He was a champion with multiple defenses, like 3 or 4, I think. And Ortega has never been champion, so. Just a complete showing of levels, honestly. And Brian Ortega could make the weight, so he forced Aljamain to go up in weight after already making 145, so there was a disadvantage there for Aljamain, and, you know. But we love to see Aljamain come on top, man. I've been an Aljamain Sterling fan ever since 2019, and I'm just so happy to see him, you know, succeed, man. It's amazing. So, I love Aljamain, the Funk Master Sterling, and always will, man. Brian Ortega absolutely dies at lightweight, man. I mean, God. I don't know if Brian Ortega can really be successful going forward. I question if he'll ever win again. You know, I really do question if he'll ever win again. So, sad. Moving on to the main event. People forget, man. Johnny Walker. He beat Khalil Roundtree. You know what I'm saying? This was a people forget, man, performance from Johnny Walker, man. People forget, man. Zhang Minyang can't take a leg kick, you know? Dude, he goes out there and he doesn't... As soon as he didn't KO Walker in the first round, I knew it was over. I'm going to just be real. I thought Minyang would get him out of there in the first round, but as soon as round 1 ended, I said, oh, I'll tell you, I'll prove it, right? As soon as the first round ended, I knew he was going to lose. Because as soon as the first round ended, I tweeted, uh-oh, Zhang's second round is what I tweeted. Uh-oh, Zhang's second round. I knew it was over. I knew it was fucking over, man. And the worst part is, man, I've picked Johnny Walker for fucking years, man. Years. And he never wins for me. I picked him against Volkan Oezdemir. Got KO'd. I picked him against Ankalaev both times. KO'd. I picked him against fucking... Man, like, and he just gets KO'd. I finally go, you know what, Tristan? We're not picking him. We're not picking him, okay? He doesn't win for us. And then he beats Zhang Mingyang in Shanghai, China. It was a beautiful performance, though, by Johnny Walker. It was a real people forget man performance. People forget. Okay, I'll stop. I'm happy, though. I'm happy. I'm very happy. I fucking love Johnny Walker. He's my second favorite light heavyweight behind Alexander the GOAT Rakic. You know, I love to see Johnny Walker succeed, man, because he's so funny and he's fun. He's so fun to have around. Yo, true or false? Johnny Walker is so good for the sport to just have around at the top. He's so good for the sport. Because every fight's going to be entertaining. He could get KO'd at any moment. He can KO anybody at any moment. He's goofy. He dances. He's so good to have at the top of the sport. You know, people will tune in for his fights. So I guess that's it. I went 6-6 on this card. 6 right, 6 wrong. That's not good. Not good at all. Look at Johnny Walker, bro. I should have known his ass was gonna win, man. How long is this video? 22 minutes. That's fine. I feel like I covered anything I needed to cover. I will say, though, full disclaimer, I'm moving soon. I'm getting a house. I'm currently living in an apartment, but I'm getting a house soon. At the end of September. So videos may roll out a bit slower because I got a lot of stuff in my room. I got a bunch of UFC posters behind me. I got gaming posters all on this wall. I got posters over there. I got posters right there. You can see. I have a PC. I have a PS5. I got a big queen size bed. I got a table over there. I got another table. I got 2 dressers. I have a deep freezer. I have a mini fridge over here behind me. I got headless ceiling in my bed. You know, I got a lot to move, so I'll try to still roll out videos, but they may be a bit slower. I wish I could grow a better beard, bro. This is like some absolute nonsense, bro. Neck beard, bro. Nasty as shit. Yeah. That's all I got for this video. What's next? Nasruddin and Mavav Kayo Bohalio on September 6th. Of course. Of course. Stay tuned for that, huh? Alright, anyway. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace. Let's go, Johnny Walker.